Hello world, Cliff King here, back for another video. In this video, I want to continue on the theme of my involvement in the Heir property, of being part of my family's Heir property. So, as the title suggests, I was accused of, by a cousin, to be more exact, in a Facebook post, of doing things behind closed doors. Essentially not being transparent, open and honest about my involvement, about the court action, the legal action, the civil action to bring about the quiet title for the Heir property, and amongst other things. Also, in that post, that the money that I gave was not for the Heir property. That's probably partly true. Partly true that the money I spent for the civil action, yeah, it wasn't for the Heir property. But the money that I gave for the taxes, that was for the Heir property. You know, this is why it frustrates me. This is why I'm, upset and frustrated and making these videos, again, to control the narrative. I don't understand why family feel the need to put things out there that's not true. And there's cousins of mine, other family members of mine, that realize what's true and what's not true. And they have come to my defense on Facebook and in private conversations, have called me and say, "You're doing a good job. You need to be done. We got you. We got you, cousin. We got your family." But it upsets me and it's frustrating that members of my family who are closer to me, who are closer to the problem, are the ones causing this confusion, division, and drama. It's causing all this unnecessary angst and animosity. When I stepped up to help them, to back them, to support them, to resolve these issues, but yet family wants to tear me down. Everything that's going on in media, dealing with the professional sports, with the Olympics, Simone Biles and Naomi Osaka, being the height of their careers, choosing to back out of tennis matches, or even the Olympic events, gymnastic events, because of their mental health. Right? Well, their mental health is more important than some medal or some trophy, or winning a match, winning a tournament, placing first, getting gold. Yes, there should be some toughness goes along with it. Have broad shoulders, have strong armor to deal with that stuff. But sometimes you never know what people are going through. The pressure is there, and the love I have for my family, respect and love I have for my family, the genuine care I have for my family, trying to do the right thing, try to show them what's right and what's not right, following the advice of the lawyer that I paid for to resolve these issues, and they turn their backs on me. So you know what? My mental health is more important than what they think and feel. To be honest, at this point, I really don't care anymore. I should care, but I don't care anymore. I have zero cares on what they think and feel. But again, I'm going to control the narrative. My mental health is more important. Clearing my name, telling my story, is more important than anything they think and feel and believe. Because at this point, I'm ready to shut it all down. It's just a matter of when and how. But again, I'm here to tell my story. So my cousin posted that on Facebook, on a Facebook page that was created during my time as a manager, and hopefully by by the time you're watching this video, I have already posted the video explaining my role and responsibility as one of the 5 managers for the property based on agreements that are made in court. And so this Facebook group page was created to get information out there, because again, about being transparent, open, and honest about all things are going down. Now, I wanted to do this a long time ago, but members of the family didn't agree with it, right? Because a bunch of old heads, right, don't understand why are you putting that on Facebook? Why are they doing that? Why are they doing this? Always got something to say, but don't understand why things happen for a reason, or why things are done for a reason. So they were, already questioning my actions, my involvement. Things were being done, but yet didn't show up to a meeting. Didn't stop to pay attention, ask the right questions so they can understand. Didn't read documents, only going by what they heard. That was me in the beginning. Going by what I heard until I started reading the documents, because I was involved in it, because I'm the one that brought the lawsuit along with them, along with members of my family, to the court to acquire the title. So guess what? I had to read the documents. I had to read court records, court files. I had to read the deeds to the property to understand the complexity of the issue, what was really the issue. But they didn't do that. Family hasn't done that. But yet, family can get on Facebook and make posts without having all the information. Hey sir, how you doing? So this is where we're at. But again, I created this Facebook group page to get the word out, to be more transparent, open, and honest about things. Because everybody's spread out. I say everybody, those that are family or have claims to the property, are spread out throughout the states, right? So we needed to have a better way of communicating when we're having meetings and what's going on with the property. Has not been done before. They tried it, but they were doing it. It was being done by church announcements in church, right? Announcements in church, or by word of mouth, or some cases sometimes sending out letters. But even then, not everybody was notified, because only people that received the information knew about it, and they didn't pass it on. So if a member of my family, say an aunt, uncle, received the information or the announcement of a meeting or voting or whatever, they didn't pick up the phone and actually call others, such as, say, my mother. Mother didn't know about it. She got phone calls to say, hey, when her siblings were being sued for their involvement in the $20,000 being spent, they contacted her saying, we need money, we need help. Oh, we need this from you. But what about when the meetings were taking place? It didn't happen. She didn't get no phone calls, even when I was on vacation, retiring from the Air Force, on my terminal leave. And from June of 2016 until September of 2017, she didn't receive no phone call or notification that they were having meetings up at near the property. And she was staying in my house with her mother. So her mother, my grandmother, and my mother were living in my house, were staying in my house while I was on vacation, while I was enjoying time well earned, my vacation. And she did not receive a phone call or any kind of notification that there was meetings being called. But members of my family who were part of the lawsuit, who I got involved to help clear things up, they knew, but didn't do anything. So please, someone tell me, how is it that I'm a part of this conspiracy and doing things behind closed doors, when those individuals, right, supposed to be members of my family, aunts, uncles now, and some of my cousins, knew what's going on, but didn't tell nobody. But yet, I'm doing things behind closed doors. A lot of things was done behind closed doors. Not with my name on it, it was not. And if any family member that has evidence, you need to present it. Because it was said that I was going to be sued, taken to court. But yet, where's the evidence at, family? You listen to remember the family who was taken to court for their involvement in spending money they had no business spending, amongst other things. But yet, somehow, I'm wrong. I'm the bad guy. How dare I go against the family? Again, the cousin posting stuff on Facebook that they know nothing about, going off of just hearsay. Again, saying that I spent the money, the money I used was not for the property. So, spending the $3,900, for those that seen my video, one of my first videos, spending $3,900 of my own money to help pay the taxes so that the taxes for the property does not become more delinquent and how to risk the property being sold on an auction block because we can't pay the taxes. Taxes can't be paid. I want to see the evidence that says that I did something behind closed doors, that my actions were inappropriate, were unethical, were illegal. They're not saying that, but they're pretty much saying it. I want to see the evidence. And, it irks me, it makes me mad that they're having one-sided conversations. One-sided conversations. And also that, how am I doing things behind closed doors when in October 5th of 2019, we called the first estate meeting because of the he said, she said, because of the internal disagreements of members of the board, which is supposed to be, again, 5 members of the board. I was one of them. And 3 of the members of the board were my uncle and one of my cousins, my eldest cousin. My uncle and my cousin are first cousins, so it makes me second cousin. Second generation cousin. My mother's side. So I'm confused on this. And we called a meeting to get the word out. And everybody's supposed to come to these meetings. Again, the word didn't get out. Because people didn't want to get the word out. And that's not on me. I said people, members of my family and members of the board. So again, it's not on me. But a cousin is going by what they heard instead of what they know. There's documented evidence. That's why I keep records of everything that I was part of. Anytime we had a meeting, it was on records. I kept recording. I was not going to go into a meeting with no records because I don't want people lying on me. And look what's going on right now. Members of my family, who I entrusted, who I believed in, who I loved and respected, is lying on me. Called me a liar. Threatened to sue me. Threatened to put their hands on me, but yet posting on Facebook that all that stuff was not true. Ain't nobody threatening him. Based on what? And again, this is... See, what they don't know is that the same cousin that posted that is the same cousin, along with 2, 3 other cousins, that called me in a conference call. Doubt called me and then connected 2 of the other cousins to the phone, to the call, because I had them blocked because of things that they were saying about me and my mother. At one point, called my mother a coward, tried to fight my mother in front of her dying mother. And guess what? I got it all on record. I recorded it. So this coming from a cousin, again, said that, oh, anybody messing with him, anybody messing with Clifton, that's not true. Really? Now I got you on record. You called my phone, and I recorded you. Because the first time the family called me, cousin called me, I hung up. But then I got smart and said, you know what? Let me record this. So I grabbed my audio recorder. I hit record. And sure enough, they showed who they were. They showed their true colors. Trying to punk me and talk to me like it's going to be 3 against 1. Now, and I had it on speakerphone, so my mother can hear it too. So if and when the time comes, we got to go to court. I have no problem testifying it, and she will testify as to what she heard and to what they said. My mother is 75 years old. What the hell did we do to you? What did she do to you, family? That you have to get on Facebook and act this way. Yet I didn't come at you. I didn't respect family. And they called you out of your name. Not one cousin have I threatened or acted hostile towards. Even with all this going on. Yet you sit here and say that I did things behind closed doors. The money I spent was not for the property. Are you sure about that? Do you have proof? How about how much money you spent that you spent towards the property? How about all those people that live on the property? We ain't gave a dime. In the years they lived there, over 18, 20, 25 years, ain't gave a dime. Living on land that they don't own. Just squatting on land that they don't own. And I stepped up to put it to bed. In this issue of who's who and what's what, and who done what. I guarantee you that if and when the time comes, we go back to court, the court's going to see it in my favor. We're going to see it that things I did were in accordance with legal procedure, legal protocol. That I have the backing of lawyers and judges, because there's something I did that was not by the book. Yet somehow I'm accused of being shiesty and being in cahoots with the lawyer that I hired. Really? Based on what evidence? Where's your evidence? What evidence they have? They benefit from me. Any documentation that I had either was created based on other evidence, based on my research, based on documentation, based on court records, court documents. And the information they had, the evidence they had, was from, most of it was probably from when they were being sued. So, and they gave it to me. And I kept it, I archived it, put it in binders, made it look all nice and neat and proper. Put in protective covers. But yet, I'm a liar. I'm doing things underhandedly. I'm doing things behind closed doors. It's hard for me to believe that a cousin would say that, but no evidence. Good morning, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Doing well, thank you. So it's really disturbing that family would say that with no evidence. But, like I said, there's cousins out there that have my backing, that understand, because, when I got involved, I made a point to reach out to family and talk to people, because I didn't want it to be the same issues of people not being transparent, of not knowing what's going on, because the lawyer told us that we have to make an honest attempt to contact everyone, to let people know what's going on, and to be here to ask members of the family to chip in financially, and not just financially, but in spirit and in person, right? To come home and see what's going on. See, they forget that fact. They forget that fact that letters were sent out by two of my aunts and by me. Over 40 letters that I printed out and mailed out between January 2017 and probably March, April 2017. The letters were sent out and received. But I only received 2 responses. So again, I'm confused on how family can say behind closed doors amongst themselves, without talking to me, that, as well as my mother, because my mother has inside information on this, because she was part of this, that we were doing things behind closed doors, that we were not being transparent, open, and honest. So again, Here's the Facebook post. I'm going to read it from my phone. So I'm guessing to say this, that the money that Cliff gave had nothing to do with the estate. Whatever that money was for was behind closed doors. It was not asked for. Now, had he bought it to the people and say he wanted money back, then I would say, yes, y'all owe him. I myself don't owe him a darn thing. It's a difference that volunteering to help his family and giving a loan. A loan was never meant, and there's more parts to it, but you get a gist of it. A loan, I did come to the people. See, the twisting of words, they're making stuff up to fit their agenda, to fit their argument. But it had no evidence. Or maybe they forget that there's evidence, that I have the evidence to prove it. And they're not counting on that. They're not counting on the fact that I had evidence to prove everything that I'm saying and everything I've done. So another cousin, in response, says, yes, it was. It wasn't behind closed doors. We got a call and was told that we would have to help pay money back. So I don't know why you and others didn't get this message. If it wasn't for him paying the taxes, the land would have been lost. Thank you, fam. I love you, fam. I love you, cousin. And it was crazy. I only met this cousin once or twice prior to actually going to court. Came down with her family one summer, I think it was 2017, came down and we had a meeting because they wanted to know what's going on. They were wanting to be involved. Her and her kids, her and her children, and her siblings and her mother and aunts, uncles, which are heirs to property on my grandmother's side. Never met them before in my life until the day that they came down there and we met. It was the first time we met with them. The first time I met with these cousins, as far as my generational cousins. But I met my older cousins, which are cousins to my mother and her siblings and the rest of the family. They're along their generation line. But I had love for them. I didn't disrespect them, even though they came there with somewhat aggressive tones. I was still respectful, and I explained things to them. I said, "Here's an open book." I was prepared to open up my books, show the documentation, the paperwork that I had. There was nothing to hide, because they have the right, because they're a part of this. They were a part of this. This wasn't just me and my grandma and 3 of her children. This was supposed to be all the family members. Again, on my grandfather's side and my grandmother's side. So someone please help me understand, how is it that a cousin who was not directly involved, who was going off of what someone has told them, is posting things on Facebook and saying things that is not true? But yet, I've been transparent, open, honest. I've called meetings, family meetings, and they attended them. And I say, here's the information. Read it for yourself. But yet, an uncle who was involved in this is sitting there saying, that's not true, that's not true. This is what I'm like, that. I was like, okay. Even to the lawyer. Even when the lawyer has given us advice, we're in the lawyer's office, meeting with the lawyer. And he's getting an attitude with the lawyer. The lawyer's like, okay, well, here's what y'all agreed to. Here's what you agreed to in court, under oath, on record. So anything that's recited in open court on record, it is legally binding. So someone please tell me how we did not do nothing, that I did things behind closed doors. And I understand what she's referring to. So let me back up for a second. So she's referring to the day that we met with the lawyer the first time. And we went back to my house. And we sitting there, I said, I may be able to help get the money. Let me make some moves. Let me look at my finances. And in turn, Uncle said, okay, we'll pay you back because it's not fair for you to pay all of it. It's not fair for you to come out of pocket to spend your money. And it was agreed that I would get my money back. So my cousin wasn't involved in that. She had no part in that. But the family agreed, yes, Cliff, you'll get your money back. Because it won't be fair for you to spend all your money doing this. That should be a family affair. It should be everybody's responsibility to pay for this, to get it done. So my other cousin that responded, I just read from the Facebook post, her and the family were contacted. People were contacted. Again, I mailed out over 40 letters. And her and her family, so her mother and her brothers and sisters all chipped in. They chipped in. They sent money to help, pay back some of the money that I spent. So, again, cousins don't know what she's talking about. Don't know a damn thing what they're talking about. But she owe me, okay, fine. Let this be a lesson learned to me and everybody else. Don't loan money to family. Don't volunteer to help unless you know for sure that you can get your money back. And it was crazy. She also made in this post that her dad, which is my uncle, let me get it pulled up again. Let's see if I have it right. It says, well, I definitely didn't get that call. And as a matter of fact, myself, I would have told him, don't do it because I don't live on the land. And I'm not paying taxes for other people to live on the land. They could pay their own taxes. No one was worried about the land until we got taken to court. So I'm confused. I'm going to listen to my father and stay out of it. Wise advice. You should stay out of it. You know what? And to be honest, looking back, my own father and my mother gave me advice and asked me, Cliff, are you sure? Son, are you sure? But I had love for my family. Again, I had love for my family. I wasn't doing this to be greedy. I wasn't doing this because I had visions of grandeur. I wasn't doing it because, oh yeah, we can take it and we can do this and we can do that. That was the last thing on my mind. The last thing on my mind. The furthest thing from my mind. At no point did I envision of being essentially a king and have my castle and my kingdom. This wasn't about me. It was about the family, but also doing what's right by the property, doing what the forefathers and mothers, our ancestors, members of family who were, I'll say members of family, those individuals, those men and women who started this, right, went from being slaves to free men and women after the Civil War, to having the rights, the capability of owning land, to be landowners, not just working on the land that they don't own, but actually owning it and working it and providing for the families. But yet, cousin saying that they would have told me not to get involved. Really? Really? I tried to come to the family. Matter of fact, there was a letter, again, there was a letter already mailed out. It was already mailed out before hiring a lawyer, and matter of fact, there was meetings being called, and members of the family and uncle didn't go to the meeting. But they thrown in that twist of saying, oh, I would have told him not to do it because he doesn't live in the land. I don't live in the land. I'm not going to pay for it. You're right. But it's not about me and you. It's about saving this land. How else are we going to save this land? So we're just going to let it go because we don't want, because we're mad and angry that the people living in the land are not paying nothing. This is why I went to court. We went to court to put to bed the question, to quiet the title, to say, hey, if you are heir to property or you have rights to this property, come forward and state your claim as to who you are and why you're on the property. So we can get it in order, to get everything resolved. But see, they don't see that though. I get it, I understand it, because family, when it comes to family don't want to understand everything. They want to argue. They don't understand why they can't do this and can't do that. Why the law says this, the law says that. That's okay though, and that's why I hired a lawyer. That's why I hire lawyers. Family and law sometimes doesn't mix, but it has to come to a head. And I've been talking long enough. But like I said, I need to get this out. I need to tell my story. And family posting stuff on Facebook based off one-sided conversations, based on he said, she said, as a means to damage my reputation, call me out. Now this is the same cousin that ran to my sister. You know, made a comment that when they see me, they're gonna tell me about myself. But ran to my sister, not once but twice, to attack me, to check me, by way of my sister. How is that proper? That's really bold and brave, huh? But yet, I didn't call and say nothing derogatory about them, about my cousin. I didn't call to curse them out. I didn't check them. Again, this is about me controlling the narrative, taking back and fighting back, not letting them win. Now I don't owe them anything, like they told me. They don't owe me a darn thing. I don't owe them a darn thing too. But you know, they threatened to put their hands on me, threatened to hurt me and my mother. To me, that's crossing the line, and people should be locked up and put in jail. But because of family, listen to my mother and cousins. Hey, let them talk. Let them talk. It's just a bunch of hot air. They just what they're doing out here is being reckless. And to me, I would have the right to defend myself for them saying that. For threatening to put their hands on me. They're going to tell me about myself when they see me. So that's right there. To me, that's a threat. I have the right to defend myself. But granted, I'm not a violent person. I'm not a threatening person, especially towards family, who really ain't done it to me. Other than you know, talk a bunch of junk. But still, if it was anybody else, maybe a different story. But I'm better than that. Again, 20 years in the military. I've been trained, I've been educated. Why would I throw the other way just over property that I don't own? I'm not gonna fight nobody over no property. But we went to court, and everybody any family member that sees this video, you can say what you want to say. You had opportunity to come forward, because you can't tell me in a small community and people that live around there that y'all don't talk. Y'all talk. People talk. So don't tell me you didn't know. I don't want to hear it no more. Y'all knew, and the claims that I falsely took y'all to court and did all this stuff, I call bull-ish on it. Real talk. Because I tell you, like I said, when time comes, I'll present all this evidence to the court. And let's see what you got. So you can use my emails, my text messages, or whatever else you got, hearsay, against me, that's fine. And I present my documentation with my name on a signature block and signed. And I will showcase my files, my computer files that has dates and times that I drafted said letters or notification or made said documents. I present the audio and video recordings of everything I have. Nobody before me was doing that. And the same gentleman that's supposed to be my uncle, that's leading this conspiracy train against me, he didn't do it. And when he was in a position to affect change, to make things happen, he didn't step up and get it done. He was sued. He tried to get it done, but guess what? He stepped up and he stepped down because he couldn't figure out how to get to the next point, to the next step. He couldn't do it by himself. Didn't have the means to do it. Didn't have the means financially and probably mentally, physically, and spiritually. I don't know. But, you know, be calling into question my character, taking my character, bashing me, attacking me, have the right to speak out. You know, try to have a adult-like conversation, a family-like conversation. Again, called a meeting. We had a meeting in October of 2019, family meeting. Try to explain things to them, and he still didn't want to listen. And he still said, "Oh, what I'm saying is not true. That's not true. That's not true." And then my cousin says, "Oh, Clifton, I'm so proud of you. You actually keep an open mind about stuff." And I look at him like, you know what? Whatever's. And I made a statement that, okay, since y'all sitting here questioning me, that I don't know what I'm talking about, that apparently what I'm saying is not true, let me go to the lawyer and get the factual information, actual information. So what I did, I had a lawyer draft a letter based on our conversation, based on our meeting, and send it out to me, my mother, my grandmother, and my aunt, uncle, which is, again, my grandmother's 2 other children, my mother's 2 other siblings, so they can see firsthand. Because I get tired of people, family, lying on me and saying things that's not true. So, to cover my backside, I had them send it out to make it official, because we agreed to this on record, on court. Again, my family were there. I was not alone in that courtroom. I was not doing things behind closed doors. So I want to see the evidence that proves that theory, that proves this conspiracy theory that we did things behind closed doors. I want to see it. Now, are you referring to the day that my family agreed to pay me back? Yes, because it was in my house. Yes, because we came back from the lawyer's office. And it was us bringing us before the court. But yet, there were letters mailed out to the family asking for financial support. So, again, my cousin is wrong. And that one cousin that responded proves what I was saying is right. Proves that I'm right. But you know what? I'm not interested in having family conversations, sidebar conversations, because you put it out there. You attack my character, and I didn't say a dang thing about you, a darn thing about you. That's okay though. So again, I'm controlling the narrative. I'm taking back what's mine. My respect, my dignity, my honor, my reputation. Even if that means not getting back the relationships with family members, I'm okay with that. I'll be okay with it. You shouldn't threaten my mother. You shouldn't threaten me. You shouldn't talk that nonsense. Because if it was anybody else. But anyways, I think I'll try to end it there. But you know what? I do want to try to leave on a positive note. When it comes to family, it's difficult to maneuver through, you know, your family ties, your relationships with family, and the laws, because everybody's not gonna understand what you understand. Not everybody's on the same wavelength, and that's okay. You don't have to be. You know, there was one of the other managers made a point during a board meeting that I watched recently, and he said that, well, here's what I thought. You know, this is not about always being right, but doing right. And he also told me that when you know better, you do better. And let this be a lesson learned for everybody. You ain't always got to be right, but when you know better, you do better. Ask the questions, pay attention, and if your heart is in the right place, you know, do things with good intentions. I didn't do this to hurt anybody. I didn't do this to cause further division and drama, especially with my family. Again, I had love for my family. I had respect, honor, and love for my family. I didn't think I was better than them. This wasn't me coming there to put them down, but somehow, I guess they see it like that. So, it is what it is. But all we can do is do what we can and hope for the best. So I guess I'll end the video right here. I know it's a long video, but I appreciate everyone staying with me as I'm showcasing my experience, telling my story. That in hopes that others, maybe you go through this at some point in your life, I don't know, but you can take this as a lessons learned, examples of things not to do, and be wary of, be cautious of when getting involved in family affairs, especially if it wasn't already there, or if your parents, grandparents, whoever didn't take care of it, didn't do it. It's gonna probably be harder for you to get it done if everybody's not on the same page, everybody's not in agreement, and that's why you have to go to court sometimes. And it sucks that to take that kind of action when involving family or against family, but it needs to be done. It has to be done. Otherwise, the only option is, or I say only option, you risk a chance of losing the land due to the conflict, due to the infighting, due to lack of cooperation, lack of communication, lack of understanding. So when you go before the court might just say, you know what, sell it, since I can't get right. And that's what the judge was implying during his opening statements in court. And that's for another video. And I will make a video talking about the 2-day trial. I will do that. I don't say 2-day trial, but the 2-day hearing to acquire the title. I will, from my point of view, from my experience, I will showcase that. I will explain that. I will tell my story, tell everything that happened from my point of view. So again, just be wary of getting involved in family affairs, family business, especially when there's multiple people involved. Whether it's in your immediate family or outside of your immediate family. Especially when it comes to land and money and property, which is the same thing as land, but I'll understand where I'm getting at. So I will end the video right here. Thanks for watching, and see you in another video.